our affirmation just now, a word popped up: surrender. I had no idea we were going to talk about that. But that's what we're going to talk about, surrender. We've been talking about prosperity. We've been talking about really our right to live a prosperous life. And there are those that would look and say, if you are not living a prosperous life and you want to call something a sin, that would be it. Because you are misusing the law. So I want to talk about surrender. What do you feel when you hear that word, surrender? And for most of us, your body just seized. Surrender. And some of you said, oh, I've heard surrender before. And some of you thinking, surrender what? What do I have to give up? Why? I'm trying to get, what do I have to give up? It's interesting. Our response to that word usually is a very negative kind of response, and it makes you feel like somebody wants to take something from you. And guess what? I do. I want to take something from you. I want to take the old that isn't necessarily working for you, and I want you to let it go. I want you to look at how you do things, how you say things, and how you look at various individuals in your life, and surrender that whole piece. Let it go. And stand nakedly in love. Nakedly in love. So let's look at yourself. One of the things we've been talking about in terms of prosperity is being able to look in the mirror, and as you look in the mirror, really look in your own eyes. Really see the wonder that is there and embrace it. Not look at the size, not look at the muscle structure, not look at your hairline, not look at the gray, none of that. Just looking in your eyes and seeing the magnificence that lies there. And knowing that within this physical form, God is. So that was one of the practices that when we first started talking about prosperity that we are doing. Remembering that, embracing that, and embracing who I am. So part of surrender in that is to surrender the way I once looked at myself. Give it up. Give up the idea that when you look in a magazine that you have to look like the magazine and you have to beat yourself up because you don't look that way. Now, the other piece of the surrender is if in fact when you look in the mirror and your physical form doesn't match what you want, are you exercising and eating appropriately for you? For you. So if not, then you're giving up some time that you're just not moving. Surrendering that not movement time. You know how you'll say, oh, I just need to relax. I just need to rest. Surrendering that idea and allowing yourself to say, I need to move. You know, life is movement. Things are always moving. This floor right now is moving at a pace that you cannot recognize. There's never a stillness. Even in death, there is the decay process. Life is movement. And yes, we have to rest, but the other piece is allowing ourselves to move, to really exercise and move the joints, and recognizing that's an important part of the process of being able to move in freedom and ease. So giving up the idea that I just need to sit here and rest and vegetate, maybe that's what you need to surrender. Maybe the foods that you're eating no longer work for you. Maybe it's you're being called to something else. Maybe surrendering what you once could eat when you were 15 or 20 that's not exactly working for you right now. Surrendering. And letting go of the idea, I've always. See, you know, I always is a clue. When you say I always did it that way, that's a clue of the possibility of being stuck in something. Could be good, but it's something to look at. It's a key. When you hear yourself saying that, stop and listen to what's following. and say to yourself, do I need to surrender that idea? Do I need to let that idea go and come into a greater idea? See, this piece on surrender says that if I'm holding something in my hand and I would like to have more, what do I have to do with it in my hand? Let it go. I gotta let it go. I gotta open up and let this go, and it might have been good. It's not necessarily something that's always bad. Okay, thank you. Can I get a little music while I do this? Alrighty, I'm surrendering that. It might have been something that was working for you. Not everything that we do isn't working for us, but what I want to kind of introduce the idea that there may be something greater. This works, but maybe if I tweak it and let this process go and pick up a different process, that I'll get better results. So one of the things that we as a center have done, we do not look for being debt-free. Why? Because the idea of debt-free requires me to experience debt and then be free from it. A better idea is financial freedom. Can you see the difference? So a willingness to say, well, that was working, but gee, that sounds even better, means I must surrender that other idea to step into a greater idea. If you are having issues with people in your life, and you see them in a particular light, so-and-so always does da, da, da. Every time I talk to A, da, da, da. Whenever I see Y, da, da, da. When I go home, this is what happens. Well, maybe we need to surrender some of those ideas, some of those expectations, and go for something different. Maybe we need to know that whoever we're visiting or whoever is calling is God on the other end. Maybe we need to know that we can establish a new relationship with someone that we've known for years. And as we've grown, we've gotten kind of, can't deal with you. But I want us to know that whoever we're looking at in that manner that we once said were friends, we once thought like they did. Birds of a feather flock together. So you were once like them. And you have to remember that. And it's your willingness to explore other ideas that has brought you to where you are. So your willingness to look at that individual with the possibilities that they have, which are the same possibilities that lie within you, and allowing those possibilities to come forth in the relationship, may renew the relationship. You may enjoy talking to that individual. What are you anticipating in the conversation? And sometimes the conversation's the same, and it's okay. And you may leave it alone for a while and have another conversation with a different anticipation, and it may get better. But part of what I want you to understand is that, we teach we're all connected. So whatever I'm thinking affects your response. It affects your thinking. Sometimes my thoughts about you, you step into and fulfill them. You know how a teacher would look at you and you would feel like, this teacher doesn't like me and the teacher's going to pick on me? And you know how you were right? You were always right. But part of it was because you felt that way because of past experiences, and the teacher responds to your thought. Your thought might have been greater about how they thought about you than their thought about you. Does that make sense? So part of what we think about others and how